Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to, and today we are talking about NVIDIA stock, ticker symbol NVDA. In this video, we will be analyzing 3 articles, to where the first one is titled, NVIDIA is getting a big boost in a fast-growing market, and it is not AI. So we're going to be going over their latest news catalysts and how high the stock price could actually go. After that, we'll move on to another article titled, NVIDIA board member cashes in chip makers' rising shares to sell more than 100,000 shares for $51 million. So we'll be discussing insider trading within this company, whether or not existing investors should follow suit and also sell their shares to cash in, and where this company could be in the long term. Lastly, we will briefly touch on AMD as well as Intel, so we can compare and contrast NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel shares all to one another to determine which is the best company in these particular segments, which ones are buys, which ones are holds, which ones should we sell, and what the future could be for any or all of these companies. Naturally, we will also address their latest price targets and price predictions among professionals, and of course I will be adding my own educated opinion. So for more videos just like this one, and if you like these analysis videos and news updates, don't forget to go and annihilate that like button right now, subscribe if you are new, don't forget to become a member of this channel for as little as 99 cents, because that's what keeps me here on YouTube. But if 99 cents a month is too much, don't worry. By subscribing to the channel, you will receive this content for absolutely free. So with that being said, I say let's jump right into today's stories. NVIDIA, ticker symbol NVDA, has turned out to be a phenomenal stock this year, especially since it is benefiting from the catalyst of artificial intelligence. That means AI technology has boosted the demand for NVIDIA's overall graphics cards, which is why people are so bullish and positive when it comes to this company. NVIDIA is set to deliver a major increase in their overall revenues and earnings based upon this new artificial intelligence world that we are entering into. And I really like how the company fundamentally is making smart moves to capitalize on this very innovative development in the market right now. And many companies are actually using NVIDIA's chips and graphics cards to further their own artificial intelligence, meaning that this could further supercharge NVIDIA's overall share price over the long run. However, I also like how they are making smart moves in other areas and segments within the market, and that is going to be cloud gaming. That's one such niche that is also going to benefit NVIDIA dramatically. Currently, the NVDA stock price is trading for around $430 right now, while more bearish analysts believe this company is worth around $245, while more positive bullish analysts believe the company could surge up to $710 over the next 12 months. I personally think NVIDIA probably will cap out at around $460 throughout the remainder of the year or over the next 12 months, but I'll be discussing exactly why I think that, and of course they have joined that $1 trillion club, becoming one of the most prestigious and highest valued companies in the entire world. So let's dive right into it about why I am so bullish on NVIDIA right now. Now, before I get into the news, remember that this share price could pull back dramatically. After a huge surge due to the artificial intelligence demand and the increase in revenue and earnings that are projected for this company, a pullback will be imminent, so at least keep your eye out for that, because it could give you a great investing opportunity. However, what I'm very bullish on for this company is their deal with Microsoft. Recently, Microsoft announced that the members of their Game Pass gaming subscription service can soon start streaming selected personal computer games on NVIDIA's GeForce Now cloud gaming platform. And Microsoft explains what that is, and I quote, "This move will enable the PC Game Pass catalog to be played on any device that GeForce Now streams to, like low-spec PCs, Macs, Chromebooks, mobile devices, TVs, and more. And we'll be rolling this out in the months ahead," end quote. So essentially, you don't have to have a high-powered computer to play certain games. And this is going to be very advantageous to many people who can't afford high-end computer chips, graphics cards, or other types of hardware. This announcement also indicates that the company will bring more games to the GeForce Now platform as time progresses. Microsoft and NVIDIA actually struck a 10 10-year agreement earlier this year to bring Xbox PC titles to GeForce Now. On top of that, NVIDIA's management even pointed out during an earnings conference call with analysts, professionals, and experts present that they now have a library of over 1,600 games that are available on their GeForce Now platform. It offers literally the richest content available on any cloud gaming service, meaning that they are a market leader, technologically speaking, in this area. And we'll also go into the actual overall market prospects for this overall market and how both NVIDIA and Microsoft are going to greatly benefit from diving into this overall opportunity. Also, I want to say that 1,600 games is likely to increase as they continuously add more Xbox games to their GeForce Now platform. However, what does this mean for NVIDIA as a company? Well, first let's talk about the overall market opportunity that NVIDIA is capitalizing on. As of February, NVIDIA's GeForce Now platform has more than 25 million members across 100 countries. The cloud gaming market reportedly had a total of around 32 million users, meaning that NVIDIA is the dominant player and that overall segment is worth around $2.4 billion. But the news gets even better. The gaming analytics firm Newzoo estimates that the cloud gaming market could generate $8.2 billion worth of revenue by 2025, meaning that this overall market is rapidly expanding, and NVIDIA and Microsoft are going to get loads of revenue from this, especially being somewhat first movers in this market. On top of that, by 2030, the market is supposed to be worth around $85 billion according to Fortune Business Insights, meaning that if you can capitalize early on and become the dominant market leader, once it actually turns into a mega market of over $85 billion, you're going to be raking in billions upon billions, multi-billions of dollars just from this one segment. I also like how it enables people who don't really have a discretionary income to spend on games, who are literally living paycheck to paycheck, to be able to relax and buy a subscription to GeForce Now, which allows them access to all of these games using top tier hardware. And the article goes into detail talking about this, where it says that gamers can buy top tier GeForce Now subscription for a monthly fee of $20, which will allow them to access an RTX 4080 graphics card powered server. On the other hand, buying an actual RTX 480 graphics card alone would set someone back around $1,200 US. NVIDIA is also, in my opinion, doing the right thing by entering into this 10-year agreement with Microsoft, because I think both companies are going to greatly benefit from this. So I really like how it's not only great for the consumer, ergo the gamer in this case, but also for the companies. So if you are both a gamer and an investor, then these are the companies that you would want to look at, mainly being Microsoft and NVIDIA. But now let's jump over to see why a couple insiders are actually selling their NVIDIA NVDA shares. So what is so special about NVDA stock? Well, as you know, the current NVIDIA stock price has been surging lately, and one of its insiders sold around 100,000 shares of NVIDIA stock. And according to the article, he dumped around 118,602 NVDA shares between the prices of $429.90 and $434.20, giving him around $51 million from this sale. On top of that, I think the reason that's clear about why he did that, if he actually got to activate this trade, is the stock is up nearly 200% this year. And if you are a smart investor, anytime a stock doubles, that's instant profit taking, because it allows you to get your initial investment out of the company, and it also indicates that a pullback could be coming for the stock, to where you could wait for the company to pull back and then reinvest back into the company before it surges again. So honestly, he's just practicing proper risk management, and he had a huge payday. So even though investors are extremely positive and bullish concerning NVDA stock, as it dominates the overall market and it gets that hype from artificial intelligence, machine learning, and cloud gaming, there was also another NVIDIA board member who sold $21 million worth of NVDA stock this month, and that's according to MarketWatch. And I assume that it's a similar reason for why this insider sold as well. Lastly, an NYU finance professor known as the Dean of Valuation also recently sold and liquidated his stake in NVIDIA, saying that he could no longer justify the stock's high valuation, now coming in over $1 trillion like we mentioned earlier. here, and I have to somewhat agree with this overall analysis. It is extremely overvalued on a valuation standpoint according to accounting ratios. However, the markets that NVIDIA is in certainly have the future growth potential to maintain these overall high share prices. However, in the short term, I would personally take profits, wait for a pullback, reinvest back into the company once I took out my initial investment, so my risk is essentially lowered to zero, and then let the rest ride. For instance, if I invested $1,000 in NVDA stock, the stock doubled to $2,000, I would take my $1,000 initial investment out, therefore I have recuperated my initial investment, thus my risk is now zero. However, I still have dollars left in the stock, and then I will let that ride for the long term, to where I'm going to get loads of money, and I am doing this at literally zero risk. So I would love to hear your thoughts about that strategy down below. Now let's talk about some other companies, including NVIDIA, that all kind of trade in the same general vicinity as one another, and that is going to be AMD as well as Intel. Because I think both of these companies could actually benefit from NVIDIA's overall momentum. Intel specifically has taken a backseat to companies like NVIDIA as well as AMD over the last few years. AMD I personally hold in my portfolio as well as NVIDIA, ticker symbol NVDA, where AMD is trading at $110 per share currently, while very bullish analysts believe the company could surge up to $200 over the next 12 months, and more bearish analysts believe the company could fall to as low as $60 over the next year. On the other hand, we have Intel stock, ticker symbol INTC, which has already declined from peak to trough by 64.5%. Currently, they trade for around $32, while some analysts believe they could surge up to $45 and others believe they could fall to as low as $17. So, should we buy the dip on AMD as well as Intel stock while NVIDIA continues to track higher? To be honest, when I compare and contrast these companies to one another, NVIDIA is the best due to their overall technology, their partnership with Microsoft that we went over, and their overall economic advantages. In second place easily would be AMD Advanced Micro Devices, because their overall valuation and relative strength just is much stronger than Intel. And then lastly, it would be Intel, which doesn't necessarily have a bad setup at all. Intel currently is trading at around $32 like we said earlier, and there it finds its 21-day and 10-week moving averages, which is going to somewhat act as a support level. It also has the 50% retracement and prior resistance. So for long-term investors, this is a good entry point in my opinion for Intel stock as well as AMD, because I think the momentum that NVIDIA has received could rub off on Intel and AMD as well, considering that NVIDIA can't necessarily keep up with all of the demand that is going to flood in from many companies utilizing artificial intelligence, meaning that there is going to be more than one winner here, so why not bet on all horses that are racing? On top of that, if Intel and AMD go lower, I think it would just make them a better buying opportunity, but again, in order, NVIDIA in my opinion is the best, coming in a strong second place is AMD, and then lastly there is Intel. So if you don't already own NVIDIA and AMD, there's no reason to buy Intel, but if you already own NVIDIA and AMD, then feel free to take a look at Intel, and if you don't own any of these companies, then feel free to look further in NVIDIA, but beware of that pullback, because yes, they are increasing in their overall valuation, and they are disconnected from their overall accounting ratios, which could be why two of their insiders from their board of directors sold, as well as that finance professor. But again, always make sure to do your own research, and I would love to hear in the comments your personal price targets for NVIDIA stock, AMD stock, and Intel stock. With that being said, I would love for you to go and annihilate that like button, especially if you made it all the way to the end of this video. Subscribe for more videos just like this one. Don't forget to become a member for as little as 99 cents, because that's what keeps me here on YouTube. But again, if not, by subscribing, you get this content for absolutely free. With that being said, I will see you in the next YT video.